Goober. Hi, Goober. And I are so happy you're here. Man, got a big subject to talk about today. This is a doozy, and so many people are going through it right now. Guaranteed, you know somebody who's either experiencing the indoctrination of a cult that our government has perpetuated, or you are waking up from a cult that our government perpetuated. So I'm so glad you're here either way. Yeah, let's learn about indoctrination tactics. Doing it with clear intentions, clear everything.
Goober, we're gonna smudge you, buddy. Oh yeah. Okay.
Here we go. I was really looking forward to just moving on from all of this. But I'm recognizing that because of history with indoctrination, with cults, with brainwashing, I think that that's a big part of the reason I can't move on. I just really hope it helps. I'm basically wanting to create the content and create the resources that I wish I had had when I was coming out of my indoctrination. And I got a call today from a dear friend and one of my most respected teachers who was waking up to just how misled she had been by believing QAnon. I was so happy she reached out, but also acutely aware of how extremely hard what she is going through is. I remember how terrified I was when someone I admired and respected so much became the victim of these indoctrination tactics right in front of me while in India. An experience that made me realize that literally anyone can become a victim of this. But even more frightening was the process of realizing that I had been indoctrinated. And it is the same feeling my friend and so many others are feeling now or will feel soon. I realized or woke up to the truth when the alternative reality that I believed in started unraveling when I got sick. I became obsessed with learning how it could have happened to me so it could never happen again. I needed to know how everything I was believing and doing were the exact opposite of what I believed. I felt like I couldn't trust anything ever again, especially not myself. I promise it gets better. Eventually, I recognized that this was my spiritual awakening, which begins with an ego death. It can be brutal and hard. It is not pretty or sexy. You are not a victim, you are a survivor. Your experience and the wisdom that comes from it can help ensure this doesn't ever happen again to you or this country. One thing that I think we all need to remember, we should always trust our very first instincts. Whatever your first instinct was about Donald Trump or Q was completely accurate. You can trust yourself again, and you are not alone. I will show you how you were indoctrinated and why. Indoctrination starts with a crossroads. You were not stupid, you were just open because you were at a crossroads. Because of the pandemic, so many people were at a crossroads. The rug was pulled out from under them and everything that we knew was turned on its head. Unless you have already experienced that, you were open to indoctrination, period. At the crossroads, you receive the mirror or soft sell. Donald Trump was chosen to be in this position because he has narcissistic personality disorder. After studying the fears, hopes, and desires of their targets, a narcissist can mirror you and make you feel seen more than you've ever been seen before. It is like magic. Q starts out highlighting the things you already believe, the divides already present in our society, and points out the ways that Trump mirrored you. And because you discovered it by doing research on your own and getting the same dopamine hits that a game gives you, you are voila, you have found your guy, and can't stop researching why to justify it. The rallies and continuous tweets reaffirm this connection, and him seeing you and understanding you. He's making promises and claims about how things are, all of which are lies, but it formulates a bond that creates a new reality. The next step, indoctrination. All of the information sources are delegitimized to the point that anyone or anything who disagrees with Q or Trump is automatically dismissed.
It's a story that if you were actually to write this in a book, honestly, I probably would quit reading the book because it's so unbelievable. It's
making you at their mercy for information, because the reality is created within the alternative reality game platform, and you are researching and discovering on your own.
Is trying to tell people on these forums and 4chan, and he's trying to tell people the truth, and he does it through questions, asking questions, and giving clues.
You have an invested interest in it being true. You're feeling special and like you are in on secrets, while they are entirely in charge of creating a new reality, which separates you from everyone who isn't sharing it, and inevitably leads you to depend entirely on what is now the supreme leader, the next indoctrination step. Trump, like any narcissist, tests his followers to see how much he can get away with. The more they allow, the worse his behavior becomes, and the more he despises them for letting him get away with it.
The oddity in all of this is the people Trump despises most love him the most.
Get away with it. At first, it is uncomfortable.
Some of the things he says is like, you just want to, dude, shut up. Talk about the issues. Some things he says, you know, he hits right on, dead on.
But soon it creates a bond between him and his followers as they crave being seen by him, while he has an insatiable need for attention and adoration. This is a bond that makes you very susceptible to things like gaslighting and projection or flipping, where he accuses his enemies of doing exactly what in fact he is doing. Flipping is claiming Antifa stormed the Capitol when it's obviously not.
We can say clearly that the claims that all the people who stormed the Capitol were members of Antifa are false.
Q started out by flipping, claiming that Putin and Trump's enemies are the ones sexually assaulting and trafficking children, and that Trump, the savior, is going to stop it all.
It's a lifetime opportunity to take this global cable of Satan-worshiping pedophiles out. And I think we have the president to do it. And so I'm very excited about that. Hillary.
When he's actually the one who started it all with his good buddy Epstein.
While glorifying their hero, the leader of the free world and the world's most powerful pedophile, claiming he is going to stop what he started with Epstein and Maxwell. Okay.
Trump and Q both use ritualistic chants and pledges to reinforce the neural pathways of indoctrination.
Q is the best thing that has ever happened to you.
When they create an enemy, then it makes you rely on the supreme leader entirely. Your ability to reason is gone.
And I'm saying according to Q, again, I don't have any proof of this, but we're talking about who is Q, so I'm going to tell you what he says. According to him, many in our government are actively worshiping Satan, or they call Moloch.
And this state of cognitive dissonance will cause you to choose the supreme leader over and over, deepening the indoctrination and environment where there is massive peer pressure, which is perhaps the most powerful indoctrination tool. This study from the 50s shows just how powerful peer pressure is.
Pressure of social forces, as the experiment of Solomon Asch reveals.
Your task is a very simple one. You're to look at the line on the left and determine which of the three lines on the right is equal to it in length. All right, we'll proceed in this order. You'll give your answer.
Only one of the people in the group is a real subject, the fifth person with the white t-shirt. The others are confederates of the experimenter and have been told to give wrong answers on some of the trials. But on the third trial, something happens.
2, 2, 2, 2, 2.
The subject denies the evidence of his own eyes and yields to group influence. Ash's experiment is a classic. It reveals how people will deny what they see and submit to group pressure.
These steps of indoctrination are always the same, and the supreme leader is always a sociopathic narcissist or a malignant narcissist. Because they lack any love or capacity for normal feelings, as they feel the source of life, energy, love, anything start to fade away, they will amp up the cruelty and testing with bad behavior, which is likely why Trump's line of communication had to be cut off indefinitely. Sociopathic narcissists have an innate ability to indoctrinate and create followers. Malignant narcissists are responsible for some of the most horrific and tragic events in our history. This process purposely removes you from everyone and everything, even yourself, to make you rely upon the leader and the group entirely, which is why it is so hard and scary to leave. You'll feel completely empty like they are. They are literally your entire world. In order to please him, you are forced to remove yourself from logic, empathy, and any source of information that might have informed you of the truth. I am so happy you're here and that you survived it. You can help other survivors too. This coming up next, how I see the virus and the time of transition ahead. It's all good. Until next time, much love to you.